Downhill biking is definitely not an activity I do regularly, but I get to do it in the new Lonely Mountain Downhill on the PlayStation 4. But should this one be spinning its wheels on your console, or should it peddle its wares somewhere else? Lonely Mountains Downhill is a physics-based biking game where your goal is to get from the top of the mountain to the bottom, and do so in a quick amount of time and not crashing as much as possible. The game features 4 different mountains with 4 trails each, for a total of 16 different courses with multiple difficulties each. Each difficulty, of course, increases the kind of things you'll have to do, such as beating it in a quicker time or crashing far less. In a lot of ways, it's a more 3D version of the Trials series of games. You have more control of the bike, and actually, it works really well. Of course, it took a few moments for me to get the hang of things, but actually moving the bike, maneuvering around tight turns, braking, and everything else is extremely responsive and very fun to play. Now, that doesn't mean that the game doesn't get frustrating at parts, as these courses of course increase in difficulty, and every one has potential shortcuts for you to find in order to get those times even lower, and some of them are really risky paths, and honestly I'm sure they didn't even want me to take certain paths I took during the game, but it was fun exploring each one of the levels and also keeping an eye out for the collectible rest areas that you're able to find in each one of the maps. You definitely will crash quite a bit before you're able to complete some of these courses. In fact, even some of the easy ones can put up quite a challenge at certain checkpoints. Thankfully, with the checkpoint system, the time resets every time you go back to your checkpoint. So whatever time you reached a checkpoint at, that's what it saves at. So if you end up crashing and restarting at that checkpoint, the time goes back to wherever it was when you first reached it. This way you can experiment a bit. If you're going a bit slow and decide to restart, you can either crash or just pause the game and go restart the checkpoint to get back to that previous spot and try to keep going for that really quick time. For completing the courses and objectives, you unlock different costumes and bike equipment for the various bikes. Each one of these bikes do have different statistics, and you'll have to unlock multiple parts in each of them before you're finally able to actually use them on any of the courses. Presentation-wise, even though the gameplay can get quite intense and difficult at times, it's overall a very kind of relaxing experience, and one that I enjoyed playing through for the most part. From the technical side of things, I did run into a few hiccups here and there, some minor performance issues, as well as graphical glitching. Sometimes textures didn't load properly, so there was like a black overtone to everything. Birds frozen in mid-air, and the water effect looked really weird, especially from a distance. Lonely Mountains Downhill is available on the PlayStation 4 for $19.99. It does feature a Platinum trophy. The game is also available on the Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PC. Overall, while I do wish there was a tad more to Lonely Mountains Downhill, it is a lot of fun to play, and I do recommend it for those that like physics-based games like this. It's kind of a relaxing experience, even with sometimes hair-pulling difficulty, and even a few minor hiccups didn't prevent me from enjoying it. With everything said, I'm giving Lonely Mountains Downhill an 8 out of 10. That's going to wrap up this review, though. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.